Chapter 7. The Mysterious Illness. Dr. Seward alerted the guards and ran out himself to follow Renfield. He was afraid of what would happen if that madman found a way out of the asylum grounds. "There he is!" he shouted to the guards. He caught a glimpse of Renfield climbing the high wall around the asylum. He was headed toward the Carfax estate next door. Dr. Seward found a ladder and went over the wall himself. He saw Renfield ducking around the corner of the house. He followed. In a minute, he found the lunatic pressed against the door of the old chapel. He was talking to himself. Dr. Seward approached carefully so as not to scare the patient away. As he slowly crept closer, he could hear Renfield saying, "I am here to do your bidding, master. I am your slave." When the guards came, Renfield fought like a wild beast. The guards had to put him into a straitjacket. They led him back to the asylum and chained him to the wall in the padded room. There he sat murmuring, "I shall be patient, master." Dr. Seward was relieved that such a violent madman had not gotten out where he could harm people. Meanwhile, Mina had traveled as quickly as she could to Transylvania, first by boat, then by train. She found her Jonathan thin and pale, and weak-looking. He did not remember anything that had happened for a long time. Mina knew he must have had a terrible shock. The nurses said he had spoken of dreadful things, but they wouldn't tell Mina what they were. "Mina, my dear," Jonathan said, "when I try to think of what has happened, I feel my head spin around. I don't know if it was all real, or the dreaming of a madman. I hope that you will still agree to be my wife." "Of course, my love," she answered. "I have sent for the chaplain. We can be married this very day." As soon as the wedding was over, Mina sat down and wrote a letter to her friend back in England. "Dearest Lucy, I am now Mrs. Harker. I am so happy. Jonathan still hasn't said anything about his awful experiences. He gets mixed up about what day it is or even what year, but he is getting better little by little. I hope that you may be as happy when you marry Arthur as I am now. I must go and tend to my husband. Your ever-loving, Mina." Lucy was glad to receive this news. By the end of her stay in Whitby, she was feeling much better. She no longer walked in her sleep. Arthur came to visit her. In another month they would be married too. But when she returned home to London, Lucy's bad dreams began again. Each night she tried to keep herself from going to sleep, so that she would have no more nightmares. She felt worn out all the time. One night she woke to a scratching or flapping sound at the window. She grew horribly weak and ghastly pale. She could not get enough air. The marks on her throat were sore. When Arthur next saw his fiancée, he was shocked. "I insist that you see a doctor," he said. "I am going to call our friend, John Seward. He'll be over tomorrow." Before Dr. Seward arrived, Arthur had to go home to see his father, who again was ill. Dr. Seward examined Lucy and found that she had changed terribly. She seemed to lack blood. She told him she was always tired and had bad dreams every night, but Dr. Seward could not find any causes for her illness. The sickness was very mysterious. Dr. Seward, who loved Lucy almost as much as Arthur did, was very worried. "I've decided to contact my old teacher, Professor Van Helsing, in Holland," he wrote in a letter to Arthur. "Van Helsing is one of the most advanced scientists of the day. He is also very kind and generous. He might be able to figure out Lucy's strange condition." At the lunatic asylum, Dr. Seward continued to puzzle over the case of the patient Renfield. Sometimes the man would be very violent, at other times quiet and peaceful. He was agitated during the day, but calm at night. They took the straitjacket off him, because he seemed better, but then he escaped again. This time Dr. Seward knew where to look for him, at the Carfax estate next door. When the guards came to take him back, he fought terribly. Then he suddenly calmed down. Dr. Seward saw him looking into the sky at a big black bat hovering nearby. "I shall go quietly," Renfield said. Professor Van Helsing arrived the next day and went with Dr. Seward to examine the patient. When he saw her, he lowered his bushy eyebrows. But he didn't tell Lucy of his concern. He talked with her about everything except her illness. As he examined her, he said little. Dr. Seward knew it meant that he was thinking very deeply. Van Helsing was not just a medical man. He had studied philosophy, and also knew a great deal about the supernatural. Later, Van Helsing said to Dr. Seward, "In all my years, this is one of the strangest cases I have seen. So much blood lost. But how? This disease interests me very much." Van Helsing had to get back to Holland, but he promised to return in a few days. He needed to find out more about what might be troubling Lucy by checking in his library. "Keep a close watch on the patient," he told Dr. Seward. "If her condition changes, let me know at once." "But you agree that it's very serious," Dr. Seward said. "Oh, very," Van Helsing answered. "This could be a matter of life and death." They could not tell Lucy's mother how worried they were about her daughter's health. Even a little shock be too much for the old lady's heart. They just had to wait and see what happened. Lucy did not get any better. When Van Helsing returned, he and Dr. Seward both went up to her room. They were shocked by what they saw. Lucy was pale as a ghost. The red seemed to have gone from her lips and gums. The bones of her face stood out. Her breathing was painful. She lay motionless and did not seem to have the strength to speak. "My God, this is awful," Van Helsing said. "She will die from lack of blood if we don't do something quickly."